Okay, here we go. I guess this is the clues part of CRR. Good morning again. This is the rear drum brakes on a 95 Chevrolet half-ton pickup truck that have been a royal pain in the derriere. And I'm not talking about cow farts neither. Here, the wheel cylinders were both blown at. Leaked all the brake fluid out, thoroughly soaked the shoes. This is filthy shoes from both sides. So everything had to be pulled off. And I used some old rotten fuel because I didn't have solvent to clean it all up. Wipe it down and spray it with brake clean. Wipe it down. Try to clean the area off real good by the wheel seal here on the axle shaft. And the axle flange there. Got the new cylinders on, got them connected. Put, see if we can see it. Right in the center there's a brand new hose. I made sure to put a new hose also because this thing sat around for over a year at least. And after putting fluid in, I was afraid the master cylinder up front was leaking, but it looks like just the fluid was spilled when filling it. I cleaned it up, sprayed it off with brake clean, cleaned it with a rag and stuff last night, and then again some more this morning, and just got someone to pump the brake so I could bleed it with see if we can show you. There's the cap for the bleeder. Where's the bleeder screw? Come on, right there, right in the center, the little bleeder screw. That one takes a 10mm wrench. The line itself took a 9/16, and then or maybe actually was supposed to be a 14mm, because the little bolts on the thing, if you're able to see, is takes 10mm socket. But issue with this, it was a mess to take it off, and personally I can't stand drum brakes on automotive. The big heavy ones on air brake systems, oh, they're so much easier. They're so simple. They're big and heavy. You got to actually have a back and some arms to handle things, but they're easy. This is nonsense. It was a struggle to get everything together. And the new shoes here, here's a slot for the top spring, and a sort of kind of sizable slot for the bottom spring down there. See if you can, okay, yeah, there it is, like there, right? Well, look at this nonsense. The new one, teeny tiny little slot there, the spring barely fits through. Fought and fought and fought and fought to get the spring in the other end on this size, and was bending the spring, afraid it was going to break, kept having to rebend it back where it belonged. Finally gave up, and I drilled through. Took a little drill bit and drilled the hole through. I just made sure that it wasn't any closer to the other hole in the other one. So the spring should have the identical tension it's supposed to, but it would actually go in there. And trying to get this stuff on the other side, things kept falling down, 5-6 times in a row. Finally, I threw the garbage aside, left the rear shoe hanging by its little thing that is, it's cam there that's connected to the park brake cable, and just let it be one night a week or so ago, because it was already too late. It needed to get out of the way and couldn't do it. And here it was supposed to be out of the way yesterday morning or afternoon, and this is Sunday morning already. It's still not done. So this time I said, okay, we're not going to fight it that way. We put this one up, put the little pin in place from the back side that's in the center here, then put the spring on. Now, I don't have the special tools. I looked to see if I'd gotten one from somebody, but a needle nose vice grip plier locked in place on there works real nice. In some ways works better than the other tool, because you can have your hand wrapped around the back, hold the little pin, hold the shoe with your palm, and that piece can be laying on the floor. You clamp your plier on it, it's tight, and then you stick it up there. Rotate it in place. Then start trying to get these stupid adjusters and nonsense on here after putting the little adjust actuator and its spring in place that for some reason it was originally hooked from the back side, so we did it again that way, even though it seems weird. I did. It rotates on a little roll pin here, and when you get new parts, don't pull a dummy like I did. I was like, oh man, what's this? They come in pairs, a little wrap package over the shoes. Well, these shoes too came in one package, and the other two came in one. Well, it dawned on me these were the rear. I mean, these were for the front section, the other two for the rear section. Well, I went to put those on the driver's side and said, what the heck? There's no roll pin in the new one. Did I go get the other ones out to see if it was available? No. It was already late. I was tired from all the stinking time of cleanup work and just getting one wheel cylinder on once I finally got to work on this stupid thing again. So I took the roll pin out of the other one with a hammer and a punch and stuck it into the new one and put it together. So what did I have to do when I get to this side? In both shoes got roll pins. Oh no, look what you did, fool. So I double checked. They have the exact same thickness and length of linings. So okay, the pads on the shoes are identical. The shoes are identical. The only thing different was the roll pin. So back here, I yanked the roll pin out and kept moving. The holes that these pins go through in the new shoes were too small, so I had to drill them out. Well, the first time I didn't go get an exact drill, so I used a 5/16 and kind of watered it a little bit. Got them to go through. The next time I just went ahead and got a different drill box and got like an 11/32 or something, you know, went in between 5/16 and 3/8. Drilled it through, slightly larger than necessary, but not at all a problem. It's there. Okay, these things here, where are we at? Shoot, I should have had a little pointer here. I'll use my brake adjusting tool. That little brass piece right in there has to be pointed towards the rear. I didn't realize it when I finally got that other side put together. The stupid thing was pointed towards the outside and holding the adjustment cam off of the adjusting rod and little cogs of the gear there, so that wouldn't work. So after it was all nicely put together for me, finished up and everything, and adjusted to where it was okay against the drum, it seemed, I had to crank that all the way in to get it loosened up, to get that stupid thing to rotate around on there. And I'm telling on myself on these mistakes, so if somebody is working on something similar, that maybe you don't get the same mistakes and waste time. This spring has a strange hook to it. You stick it in and rotate it, and then it hangs. This one was a bit difficult to pop in place. Had to have my knee against here and stretch it with that little needle nose vice grip and get it into place, because any hook meant for that won't hardly fit. This cam has to be behind the jaws of that adjusting rod, caught right in there, so that it'll be actuated when your cylinder pushes on this. Because when they get worn and it's got to push further, then it's supposed to make this spring pull on here and turn that adjuster for you. Right now, I have to adjust it because it was snug and everything. I put the drums up on there, in which we cleaned them with brake clean and stuff, and then sanded them by hand. It was done here. Then put it on there. Here we go. You see these whatever bushings laying? I stuck the drum up on there onto the studs, then put two bushings up there and 2 nuts to hold it on so that the drum would be flush. Then filled the master cylinder. And then instead of having to struggle to pump the brakes, no. Fired up the engine and let it drip into a drain pan. I see little feet. What's that? What's that? Little feet. The cat somewhere over there. Because the cold, it was putting off moisture because of humidity. Anyway, with the drum snug on here, just finger tight, then it's centered, and as we pumped to bleed the cylinder here with the 10mm wrench that's on the other side of the chuck, then these got spread out and they got centered in the drum. So now I have it back off to adjust this because it's no longer snug. There's no very light drag against the drum there. Oh, oops. You can't see what I'm doing if I turn the camera in the wrong direction. So I don't know if I can one-hand this. For educational purposes. Okay. And I may have it too tight. Where are we at? Kind of sounds okay. I'm gonna have to do it without holding the blooming phone or anything. And that mess I'm gonna have to clean a little better. It was a little bit of brake fluid and the stuff I used to clean. The same solvent I used to clean the backing plate and everything is just old unusable fuel is what I used on this, and it was of course the sloppy mess in the pan and the poor worn out brake paintbrush. So anyway, maybe this will help somebody. And on the bleeder, you're not supposed to do like I did and make a big mess and just let it squirt and run into a pan. You're supposed to put a hose on, halo, where's it at? On your bleeder and run it, put your wrench on, then pop a hose on it, then run it down into a bottle you can see through or something to catch it. Well, normally I do it appropriately that way. I already had a big stinking mess. The whole thing is going to need pressure washed. I see over here, it looks like it probably has a leaking pinion seal. So what I'm trying to do is get the stinking brakes adjusted, well bled, so the stupid thing will finally stop, and see if it'll run enough to drive itself out of the way, because a Suburban needs pushed in here and jacked up, and some meat needs finished processing and put in the freezer. So half of this should have already been done yesterday. Things happen, and 1:30 in the morning going to bed after all that fun made a late start this morning in order to get a little bit of rest. So, rest when you can, work hard, attempt to enjoy yourself if you're able, instead of being like me, and have a blessed day and be a blessing to your neighbors.